The town of West will not be getting any federal money to help rebuild.
2 months after a deadly fertilizer plant explosion leveled homes and killed 15 people, the Federal Emergency Management Agency refusing to provide money for folks there in that small town. Fox 4's Melissa Cutler is live now in West, where millions, Melissa, is needed to rebuild. We're talking about infrastructure here.
Yeah, you know, Heather, it's important to point out that this does not affect individual homeowners. This is about fixing critical infrastructure that some people say is critical to the survival of this city. Pee-wee Zaharniak can't return to his home on North Reagan Street in West Texas.
I watched them when they built the house. I bought it in '63.
Or what's left of it. It's an empty shell and is part of what feels like a ghost town. Hundreds of other homes on the street are just like his after a fertilizer plant exploded 2 months ago, claiming 15 lives, most of them first responders.
We're just dependent on FEMA to help us through this.
Wednesday, another blow. This one, he says, from the federal government. West was denied roughly $60 million in federal aid to rebuild the sewer lines. New roads and a new school.
If you haven't got schools, where the kids going to go? They're going to go out of town. This town will dry up.
FEMA says West doesn't meet the threshold of a major natural disaster declaration. The statement blindsided the town's mayor.
I need to know what their definition of a disaster is. Because if it's not, does it take 20 firemen to die? Does it take, 500 homes instead of 400 homes to be destroyed?
He's not happy with President Obama either.
Promised that he'd be behind us. And he's so far behind us, I can't see him. He needs to be beside us, not behind us.
The mayor says the town lost about 65% of its water revenue and 35% of its tax base after the explosion. And it doesn't have the money and can't afford to borrow it to fix the infrastructure. So far, the state has provided about $10 million. Today, mostly work crews populate the 5-block radius of leveled buildings surrounding the blast site in a rural town still reeling and barely recovering almost 2 months after the plant exploded.
We're third-page news, and I guess people have just forgotten about West Texas.
Governor Rick Perry and the mayor of West are both calling on President Barack Obama to personally intervene and make this happen. The mayor of West says that this is critical in order for a city's survival because so many people are leaving this area, and if they don't get it fixed, it's unlikely they'll stick around. Heather, back to you.
All right, Melissa Cutler live for us tonight. Thank you.
And in case you're wondering, this is not the first time FEMA has turned down assistance after a big explosion. Victims of a 2010 gas pipeline explosion in San Bruno, California, were denied millions of dollars in aid. That explosion killed 8 people, injured dozens, and destroyed nearly 40 homes in the San Francisco area suburb. And just like West, the explosion was not classified as a natural disaster.